Hi guys, it's Debbie, and today I would like to speak about A24, the company which has produced or distributed films such as Moonlight, Room, Lady Bird, Ex Machina, The Florida Project, Hereditary, The Disaster Artist, The Witch, The Lobster, Enemy, and dozens more. That may seem like nothing compared to Warner Bros.'s hundreds of films, Universal's award-winning masterpieces, 20th Century Fox, Sony, but A24 has only been around since 2012, and its first film was actually released in 2013, just 5 years ago. And in those 5 years, the company has produced or distributed one award-winning work after the other, and has won the hearts of film lovers who now trust that a film will be at the very least decent just based on the A24 logo on any promotional material. But what exactly makes A24 so good and so successful? According to the New York Times, the founders of the company won't give any information on how they achieved all of this, but let's try to see how it could have been possible. First of all, if we look at things on a larger scale, we live in an era which is oversaturated of content, and in which even cinema has become a fast medium. There are many good films, but at the same time production companies spit out hundreds of films a year, most of which audiences will quickly consume and discard. This makes it particularly hard for something exceptionally good to stand out. It just becomes a rush at who can make the highest grossing film in the shortest amount of time. Anything different or unique will barely make it to larger audiences, unless it stars or it is created by a well-known name. But when we look at A24 films, we can immediately point out how unique each one is and how they all manage to reach a spot in the market even with less mainstream features. So nearly everything A24 produces or distributes is very unique. For example, the films range from horrors set in the 1600s to comedy dramas, nearly documentaries set in cheap motels behind Disney World. Room is a chilling drama about kidnapping and abuse, but then we have The Disaster Artist, a comedy about Tommy Wiseau and what is considered the worst film ever. Ex Machina is an eerie science fiction film about robots which are indistinguishable from humans, but then Lady Bird has us in tears hugging our mother or our daughter. The Lobster opens introducing us to people who have to find a partner, otherwise they'll become an animal, while How to Talk to Girls at Parties presents a punk rebellion against an alien colony in London during the 70s. Then also many A24 films encourage new and unknown voices both for acting and directing. Many films use a combination of well-known actors such as Brie Larson, James Franco, Elle Fanning, Colin Farrell, but who work with less known actors. For example, the award-winning The Florida Project stars world-famous Willem Dafoe alongside Bria Vinate, who was picked thanks to her Instagram feed, and who made the film awesome. Lady Bird was Greta Gerwig's first film as a director, and it earned 5 Oscar nominations in addition to many other awards. This unique combination gives every film a one-of-a-kind touch, something which allows us to praise talent even in the absence of a thick portfolio. Another key to success is the fact that these films ride on the wave of the desire for the unconventional in art, a breath of fresh air in the midst of the oversaturation of the media. With A24, audiences will not pick a film based on a big name on a poster, because chances are most people will not recognize Mahershala Ali, Anya Taylor-Joy, Saoirse Ronan, Brooklyn Prince, or at least they didn't at the time. Viewers are now looking for a beauty in cinema based on an eclectic combination of different stories, unknown faces, unconventional soundtracks, simple situations, iconic lines, beautiful cinematography. It is an overall appreciation of creativity, and it's mostly due to the wider access to content online compared to the previous decades. Years ago, we would only see trailers, promotional material for films on TV or at the cinema before other films, while now there is a constant source of information regarding upcoming films, and there are platforms where this information can be discussed, reviewed, passed on to others. And the high sharers of this content online are young adults, the so-called millennials, who are again looking for this creativity. It's nearly like a newfound love for art, and this is good for A24 because it gives opportunities to young and unknown creators, and once the work is out, it appeals to these young adults online, who are probably the highest payers for the film, as they are the ones that attend cinemas the most. And in addition to this, according again to the New York Times, A24 invests 95% of its marketing budget online. And in the past, it has directly implemented advertisement on social media in new and creative ways, for example, creating a Tinder profile for Ava, the main robot in Ex Machina, which would then lead to users on the app to the film's trailer. It is a small company, it's cost effective, it implements new unknown artists, and it still manages to produce around 20 films a year, which is pretty good considering that Warner Bros.'s count for 2017 was 21. The problem comes when we look at the future. Will A24 be able to maintain its established role as a good source for quality content, or will it have to compromise something to expand? There are actually some other smaller companies which have released huge successes. Annapurna Studios is behind films like Zero Dark 30, Her, Joy, American Hustle, Phantom Thread, but if you look closely, they're nearly always co-produced with other bigger companies. And the same thing happened with Amazon Studios with Manchester by the Sea, which is actually widely considered one of the best films of 2016, while A24, for example, distributes or produces on its own. But there are some others that are standing out. Blumhouse for horrors, Get Out, The Purge, all the Insidiouses and Paranormal Activities, and Neon, Colossal, Itonia, The Bad Batch. It's a very interesting scenario, and some have described it as the future of cinema. Let me know what you think about this topic, and in particular, what is your favourite A24 film? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye!